Welcome back to the BCS podcast episode post conference championship game. Uh, yeah, obviously I didn't do anything this weekend. How was your weekend?
It was a fun weekend. It was obviously disappointing game, but we're still in the playoffs, and even with a 14 playoff, they probably would have left us in because I don't know that there's like anyone that would have been able to pass us just with the way we played. And it was a very interesting game for those who, I'm sure everyone who's going to watch this probably watched the game. I'll say this. Indiana fans kind of remind me of that high school football team who's never made a state playoffs before. And every first down is like the greatest play that has ever existed and happened in the history of football. Like every single play was like they'd get like a 12-yard pass and it was like they'd all be standing and jumping up and down like it was a touchdown.
Well, I mean, you would say act like you've been there before, but they obviously haven't.
Yes. And you know what I compare it to? I compare it to when Ohio State was with Thad Matta making all those runs in the tournament and going to like Elite Eight, Sweet 16 games and playing like Kentucky or like Kansas or teams like that. And it's like they're like looking at us like, you guys are really hyped up about this. Like it's not that we're not excited till we get to the title. And it's like one of those kind of things. Yeah, it was an interesting game. We went really conservative. You definitely could tell that there was a lot of distractions this week. From Hartline getting hired at USF to the Chris Henry debacle to once again, the calendar for college football really needs to be moved. We can jump into that after we talk about the game. We ran 15 red zone plays. We scored on those 15 red zone plays a total of 10 points. We ran 9 out of the 15 red zone plays in 13 or 14 personnel, which means Jeremiah Smith was on the field for 6 of those plays, / maybe not, even, or probably on field for 6 of those plays, but he was out of the game for at least over half of those plays. So, like, you had Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith on the sidelines in the biggest play of the game, 3rd and 1, and tried to outsmart Indiana by throwing to your 3rd string or 2nd string tight end in the end zone. People kind of say that Sayin had the running back in the flat. I don't know that it was pretty well guarded all around.
I think he should have just lowered the shoulder a little.
And kind of went for it and got the first. Yeah, I thought so too. Look, I'll say this. There was a lot of points in this game where we had a shot to put this thing away. And the biggest one comes right after halftime. I mean, you pretty much drive to like midfield and you got a very good opportunity to kind of put this thing away. I mean, you're coming out and you are at the point where it's like, I think it was like 2nd and 10 and we tried, or no, it was 1st and 10 and we tried to go deep on the play to Jeremiah, and our guard just got his ass kicked. Props to Indiana. Their defensive line was awesome all night. The defense that they were playing, they kind of had their linebackers a little bit back. You had the 2 safeties that were over the top helping out in cover 2 pretty much all evening. They were daring us to run the ball. And I kind of feel like we tried to run the ball, but it wasn't. And I mean, there was probably 5 or 6 plays that Bo Jackson almost broke for a touchdown. I mean, it was like, boom, and he hit the hole and you were like, oh, he's gone. And then he was getting brought down like by the last guy in line. And it was like, it happened twice when we got into the red zone too, where he almost slipped a few tackles and
Yeah.
went for 6. But I mean, also on that opening drive, maybe one of the most outrageous calls I've ever seen in a football game before, when they called and ruled saying forward momentum stopped on the rollout.
Yeah.
That was, I'll say this. Overall, the officiating was so bad both ways that no team should have any complaint.
I don't know about both ways. I mean, Ohio State was getting jobbed at all times. I mean, I normally am obviously the anti-Ohio State guy here, but I mean, some of the guys got tackled. The funny thing was in the grasp itself, like live, I was kind of like, okay, because like 9 out of 10 times, obviously in the NFL, you even like throw the guy to the ground, it'll be a 15-yard penalty. So I think I at least understand what was going on. And the ref did walk up there and blow it dead immediately. So like I kind of get it. But like at the same time, man, I don't know. I mean, because there was a face mask on that play. You didn't get called. So it was kind of evened out a little. Just sucked the down counted, I guess. But it was weird all around, man. I don't know. It was weird. I mean, it really was.
It was a very weird officiated game all around. I mean, we had a few holding penalties that were not called, but I mean, I'm saying like we as an offensive side of the ball had a few holding penalties that I found were very obvious, should have been called holding against us, that weren't called. But I mean, overall, I think it was more or less like we probably had 5 that they missed. They probably had like 10. I mean, the one play Kenyatta Jackson got through, and you had 2 guys that tackled him.
That was one of the craziest. I literally was like, I was like, man, did they like call like a personal foul, low block? He got destroyed so bad. Obviously, they ended up calling a defensive low block later in the game, but I mean that was textbook on the crazy double pass play.
Yeah, and I don't. It was kind of funny. So where I actually sat in an IU section, and there was a older gentleman behind me who obviously has never seen IU be good. Like, I mean, he actually take that back. He might have actually seen IU be good when he was younger. Like he was definitely in his
45 was the last time they won one, right?
67 is the last time they won the conference. I thought it was.
I think it was. They kept saying 1945.
Oh, maybe it was. Maybe whatever it was. He was an older gentleman, and he kept chirping in my ear and saying, "Man, no wonder you guys are number 1 in the country. You're getting all the calls." And I'm like, dude, what game are you watching?
I always love when people are super biased.
But there was a nice guys in front, or that were to the right of me, and the one where it was down by like about the 8-yard line, we had him pinned back deep, and Mendoza rolled out to the right and threw a first down. He was like, I was like, did you just miss that call? And he's like, well, it evens out. The call evens out. And the guys to the right of me tapped me on the shoulder and were like, you have a major complaint on that one. That was bad. And I'm like, yeah, it was kind of bad. But once again, we got in the red zone 4 times and you scored 10 points.
It was funny because like what your guys' red zone woes, normally you apply that to the opposing team, where like people just forget how to play calls. I know obviously it's a lazy joke with the score being the way it was.
No, but that's like our kryptonite now. 13-10.
I know, but it really did feel like a Michigan game at times.
It absolutely did, because it felt like
it was like, what are you guys trying to lose? Like,
yeah, and you know
what made it way worse, because when we played last year, like at no point, like your guys' longest offensive play was like what, 15, 20 yards, like that one like fourth down shovel thing. Because like in this game, you had dudes open downfield all game, and it was like it literally felt like Heartline or somebody. Obviously, I know that's the whole debacle who called what. It felt like you switched play colors midway through the game, because in the first half, it was like, okay, I'm gonna be a caveman here. I have a 6'4" fucking freak of nature getting guarded by some 5'9" guy that's 100 pounds soaking wet.
Yep.
We're going to abuse the shit out of that. And you did. If the Heisman didn't have a noodle arm, hits him in stride for what, an 80-yard touchdown, that'd have been easy.
Yeah.
there was just so many times where it's like, okay, like even on the freaking last Hail Mary, throw up some bullshit Hail Mary. Of course, Jeremiah catches it. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I just don't get why, even when you're in the red zone, I mean, you guys kind of did it against us. I would throw a fade ball at least 2 or 3 times in the red zone. And then again, we saw against us this past week, Sayan can't run a QB sneak. It's clear. This little
yes,
kid, it's so
exactly.
brutal. Again,
It's almost
it's not like Bo Jackson is not like this. He's like an unbelievable running back to me. Like he reminds me of the old Ohio State guys. And obviously, you were at the game. They showed a graphic, and it was like true freshmen to have 100 yards or 1,000 yards rushing or something. And it was like Zeke, might have been Trey Sermon or J.K. Dobbins, one of them. It was like all these like unreal Trayvon Henderson, obviously. It was like all these unreal backs. And I'm like, he didn't even play like the first 2 games, basically.
Yeah.
And it's like this guy, I mean, like you saw in the Michigan game, I think they said what 90 of his like 100 and something yards were after contact. Like he's able to get it down. It's 3rd and 1. You give him the ball twice, he's scoring. But Ohio State's just not that team with Ryan Day anymore. And I thought you guys broke it. I come away from this game as a neutral person. Well, not like neutral, but like, you know what I mean? Compared to you, no offense. You know, looking at it from 1,000 feet, where I'm like, did they just undo the last, 15 months? Like, did something just snap? Because like you guys went right back to like pre-natty Ohio State, where it was like, this is some soft, weak pussy team. And I'm like, what the fuck happened?
You know what? I'm really honestly hoping that it's like one of those get it out of our system.
Hopefully, this is a Michigan game. And
and here's the thing. The other thing is, it's like it really looks like it really remotivated us, because that Carmen singing was just like, holy fuck! Like, excuse my language. It just looked like you had all those Indiana fans in that end zone clowning us. You had, I mean, do you really want to piss off Jeremiah Smith? Do you really want to do that? Because
the guy throwing the ball can't reach it to him, so maybe, I don't know.
Well, I mean, we can say what we want. I thought his arm was plenty fine, considering he threw in the Michigan win the week before. And then it's like he got scared this week. I don't know what it was. I heard some people say that he looked very nervous and worried before the game, and we've never seen that from him.
He always looks like that. I mean, they did. I don't know if you could have seen it, but he did get hit, and I guess they taped his ankle like bad.
Oh, okay.
In the second quarter, but still, like, I mean, everyone's like, I mean, now, dude, it's an uncontested QB sneak. You could have gotten easily. You got like 3 yards on it, and I remember. The thing is, they did this weird thing where they didn't show any replays. And I know you were at the game, so you were like, what are they reviewing? And I'm like, he's pretty clearly down. Me and Zach were like, he's pretty clearly down.
Yeah.
This is the worst QB sneak of all time, because I know me and Zach both bet on Ohio State. Like, because that's how I have to do it when I'm watching you guys. It's like, okay, whatever. I can lose, $50, whatever. Who cares? And whatever. But I don't know. It was just something was off, man. Something was really off.
I think something was off too. I even said at the end of the game, if we would have thrown the Hail Mary the play before and Jeremiah caught it, we would have had a chance to get up there, spike it, and run another Hail Mary, and maybe even win the game. Granted, it would have taken a miracle, but I will say this: there is it's very concerning to me with our red zone offense. It has been all year. I've said it here probably a few times, like, hey, red zone kind of is worrisome. On the other side of the ball for Indiana, congrats to you guys. You played in your home state. It definitely felt like it was playing in your home state, because they even had like on the scoreboard, they did like they tried to be like the Big Ten, like Big Ten alumni, and we're honoring them, blah, blah, blah. They ran the same graphic twice, and it was all IU alums. And I was like,
they never, they've never had been able to done this before.
Yeah.
Ohio State's what, 5th? No.
And you had McAfee get put on the big screen and take off his shirt, get up on a chair, and do the Hoosiers chant and get them all fired up right before we were getting the ball in the third quarter at one point. And it was like, it felt like it was a big Indiana party, everything like that. We were walking out of there, and I walked through the tailgating lot to go to an RV that we knew some Ohio State fans at, and there were 3 separate tailgates playing "We Are the Champions," and all I could think was, "Oh my gosh, they're going to lose the Rose Bowl. They're going to get blown out of the Rose Bowl." Because
we'll talk about that game in a little bit quickly.
I just I have some thoughts that they should win that game easily, but it's almost like they threw all their eggs in one basket. I mean, and then post game, you got Charlie Becker doing the OH fuck you to Ohio State.
God, that finally got me on board with Indiana. I mean, I hated him the whole time because they did that nerd Mendoza did the post game interview. He's the worst.
Okay,
Sig the way Sig acts, it almost feels fake and forced.
Yes,
but he's the man. But at the same time, it feels he got very humanized. I forgot when he interviewed. He got really humanized. It might have been after the game when like Urban was like giving him shit after the game because he kind of like broke character almost, which was nice. And then I think he did it again when they interviewed him the pregame, the playoff committee interviewed him. But like the rest of the stuff just seems so fake and forced. But I mean, credit to him that when he got hired, I mean,
he's the one who said it.
Everyone made fun of it.
Yeah,
I mean, he called his shot.
He called a shot. He hit it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I would love to see them in Miami for a national title rematch. My main thing is, if you rematch us, I don't think we're going to do the same play calling. You saw it with Oregon even last year when we had the rematch in the Rose Bowl. We did not have the same type of play calling we had the first time we played them.
I think Indiana would change it up a little too.
Yeah.
I've always been really curious. Like the only position I think that you guys, because again, all I was saying is the only thing that I can give you from a Michigan standpoint of takeaway is I was like, they had dude to open the whole game. Michigan did. Obviously you couldn't get him there. Clearly you see when Sand gets pressured, what happens. Those corners, man. Obviously, game on the line. Jermaine Matthews got beat like a drum, like he was getting beat all night.
Yeah.
I mean, the Ohio State corners have always been the question mark. I mean, everything else is unreal. I mean, I don't know why you didn't maybe have Downs out there. Again, this is me not being a genius football guy. But, I mean, that Sig, dude, a deep, how horrible ball down there. My guy's going to go get it. Game on the line, I guess. I will say this. Look at potential matchups going forward. Who the hell is guarding Concepcion and Craver? Who the hell is guarding Malachi Tony? I mean, and that's the one thing I did tweet it out on the Blake Lytics account. People kept talking about how this game had 0 ramifications. Whose path would you rather have? Would you rather have Indiana's path or Ohio State's path? And I think that answer is not even close. I would want Indiana's, but obviously we can get to that in a bit.
I'm not sure that I do, because I'm not gonna lie to you. There's one team that scares me out there that if I'm Indiana over everybody. But we'll get to that.
Well, that 4-5 winner, I think, is the favorite to play you in the title. That's my personal thing. I'm going to fade Indiana until they win the national championship undefeated in my face and ruin my entire life. They're officially the team I'm rooting against the most because I need that undefeated natty.
I know how much you guys love to talk about your undefeated natty and how it just means so much more to everybody. It doesn't. But I kind of walked away from this, though, and I can tell you that there was a lot of stuff said in that locker room post-game and yesterday. And is it we're going to make another run for our title? I don't know. But if we're going to win another title, I'm taking a 13-10 loss every single year now. We're just going to find a game and we're losing 13-10. And then we're just going to, like, if you can guarantee me a title and we're losing some game 13-10, I'll do it every year. Yeah. And by the way, it has to have Jaden Feeling with one of the worst misses.
I knew he was doing it too. I knew it. He walked up there. I knew it.
I even said it in the stadium. I'm like, oh my God, he's
I
kicking.
audibly said it to my roommate because he should have missed the first one.
Yeah.
And I was like, nothing safe here.
And you know what? It was weird. I will say this. It was just weird. One of those weird feelings because like their kicker missed, and their kicker was the kicker of the year in the Big Ten.
Oh, they said it as he kicked it. Don't worry.
Oh,
Kicker
did they?
He hasn't missed a kick in his entire time here. And, I'm like, shut up, Gus.
Overall, I will say this: to watch a football game at Lucas Oil, it's a beautiful venue.
It's a great place. I love the stadium.
But the acoustics are so bad there.
See, last time I was there was I believe it was Ryan Tannehill versus Andrew Luck, Dolphins Colts.
Okay.
It's been a while for me.
So,
the last event I saw there was one of Michigan's Big Ten championships.
The sound system
basketball, excuse me.
Okay. The sound system needs to be updated immensely there because I was sitting in the upper level and I couldn't even hear the announcer hardly at all. Like it was very hard to hear the announcer. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he was like sitting away from the mic or like what was going on. But other than that, I mean, overall experience was great. I think that this could kind of turn into a small little side rivalry with Ohio State and Indiana being border states.
Once again, the Big Ten East wins.
Yeah. The Big Ten West is still, well, technically Oregon.
That's Pac-12. That's the Pac-12 Pacific.
Yes.
Or no.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel like that this is a budding rivalry, especially with Sig there, and he's going to be there long term.
Clearly.
They actually have a program that I think is going to be, you know what? Here's the only problem with their program. They don't do a ton of great in recruiting. They do the transfer portal thing. And when you miss 1 year with the transfer portal, you're going to end up 7-5, 6-6. Yes.
2-10.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be one of those things. And, but here's the one thing is the money is there for them to spend without a doubt.
Another team they're usually pumping up is pretty bad.
Yes. Their basketball program. Whew, and let me tell you, going to an all Indiana alumni bar that we didn't know was going to be the Indiana alumni bar on Saturday and watching the Indiana Louisville game and the way it started.
They were down like 20-0.
They were down 16-0 and they hit a three. And I will say this, they were going nuts when they cut it to like 12 or something. They were just like, everyone was screaming. Everyone was high-fiving, going crazy and nuts. And I'm like, guys, you're down by 12. Like, let's chill.
But
I mean, hey, overall, if we make it back to the Big Ten title game, I'm probably going again. It was kind of an enjoyable thing. I will not sit on the visitor side. It's just where my ticket happened to be. And it was interesting to sit amongst fans who you could tell have never really been there.
Yeah, some of the tweets are so funny. It's like I'm seeing a lot of scarlet, not a lot of crimson. It's like, all right, dude. Some very funny tweets like that. So
I will say this: it was a very much 50-50 underneath the dome. The main thing is, from what I heard from people who I know sat in the Ohio State section, a lot of our fans that went were older alumni with a lot of money who did not want to get up off their hands and did not want to yell and did not want to scream. And we're not the type that was like, hey, we're going to stay in the
They were finding some sad kids all game. Oh, it was unreal.
Yeah, I'm sure they were.
There's even the Ohio State version of the hands on head, trouble the snap kid. Oh, yeah. Right after the field goal, they cut to the kid, and the kid's just like, and I'm like, yes.
Which is fine. Which is totally fine. I just love we lose one game and everyone gets to troll us and everyone goes nuts and is so hyped for Indiana. But at some point, that's going to sway back once you
Oh,
interact
it
with
already
him.
has for most people. I mean, I
Once
came
you
away I came away
interact.
from that game being like Michigan's so much farther off than I thought they were.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that. I did not think. I mean, we both sat here. We thought that Ohio State was going to have a comfortable win, technically, with play
It could
calling
have if
maybe
you
better.
guys hit
Could have.
freaking the quarterback a bit harder and concussed him fully.
Yeah, I mean, it really was like the first play of the game, and it was like, oh,
We all
okay,
texted game over in the chat when that happened.
yeah. I
Even
knew.
on Twitter, someone's like, "Imagine paying $500 for this game and it's over in the first snap."
Yeah, I did not say that. I was actually one who was like, everyone shut the hell up.
Well, obviously we were
Um,
behind and he was on the ground not moving for like 20 minutes. It felt like, but
correct.
the little
But
brother would have came in. That'd been hysterical if he went crazy. It's like Mendoza for Heisman. Don't even have to change the shirts. So
yeah,
they just announced it's Mendoza, Sayin, Pavia, and Love. So
yeah, one of those guys is not going to play in a game ever again. I wonder which one that is. Not quite sure, but
Pavia might. I would imagine he will. Pavia seems like the one that would. I know it's Love, but I'm just saying Pavia seems like he will. But I actually texted Cozy this clip. There's a very funny thing, which obviously we'll get to a bit later, where it
yes,
was basically it was Shane Gillis, the comedian, being like, we went from being in the playoff to getting Pop Tarts shoved down our face, and Jeremiah Love's never gonna run for your school again. He's like, damn. Someone's like, they have new edible. The guy's like, we have 6 new edible Pop Tarts. And he goes, dude, not right now. Like, I'm kind of hurting here. Which the one and the memes where it was like Alabama Jones finally got his get back, and it was very funny. But we
yeah,
can quickly
congrats
touch.
to Indiana. We can go
Yeah,
quickly through the rest of the other
yeah.
games.
I mean, there was 2 good games all weekend outside of yours, but our North Texas Mean Green. I will never forget that 7-0 run. There was multiple games this weekend that were the good guys were up 7-0 and it just died.
Yep.
Up 7-0. Tulane scores to North Texas, driving right down the field. Caleb Hawkins gets hit in the shoulder. It explodes. They take his pads off like on the field, and I'm like, God damn it! Game totally changed. North Texas was down 7-34. 7-31, excuse me.
Yes.
And then I think Tulane kicked a field goal and they got 2 touchdowns. And they actually threw a pick in the end zone as the game ended, basically. So they almost really made it a game. And I was like, holy shit. Because everyone was crowning Tulane, and I was like, hold on a minute. But
now I will say this. It looked like both coaches didn't want to be there, though.
They both were trying to get ejected. It was very funny.
I just
it looked very performative. I didn't like it.
Yeah. It just, you could kind of tell like Summerall was kind of done. Guy from North Texas, my mind is blanking
Eric
on who
Morris.
it is. There it is. Yep. It just looked like he was very disinterested. Like they would already moved on to their next jobs, which is kind of concerning for Tulane moving forward, considering they're going to play a team that they lost 43-10 at. But then,
no coach, who knows?
Then on the other side, you had a James Madison and Troy game where they had to tell the Troy or James Madison band to stop throwing snowballs at the Troy punter at one point in this game.
Very good.
It was not an extremely close game. Yes, it was 17-14 at halftime. You still felt like
it felt pretty close. I know you were driving. It felt like James Madison was in big trouble for about 3 quarters of this game. And then they kind of broke 1 or 2 runs, and there was an avalanche at the end. This is a lot closer game than it looked. But then again, if you look at the stats, this is the funniest part. So multiple teams finished with negative rushing this week. But what made it way funnier is that Troy had negative 26 rush yards with two rushing touchdowns. Obviously James Madison had 318 on the ground. I think someone said 300 of that or something ridiculous was before contact. I think it was like 200 yards before contact because it was 2 runs they had right up the middle. Guy didn't get touched. It was crazy. But the spread, Troy covered the whole time. the total got into question a little bit, but Troy played pretty well. Again, all-time name by the quarterback who did get hurt. What was his name? Goose Crowder.
Yes.
Hilarious. And then the
Yes.
backups, Tucker Kilcrease. Tucker Kilcrease. Very funny name. But yeah, Goose Crowder. I mean, the kid was playing pretty well until he got killed. But JMU, we'll talk about it in a minute. I mean, I think it's Oregon like by 50, maybe 60. Like they're going to do what
Yeah.
they did the first couple weeks of the
I,
season. It's going to
I,
get
I,
really ugly. Alonzo Barrett's a fine quarterback. Making him pass is a disaster.
I can tell you that the discussion between me and my friends who were in Indy, we were like, well, if we lose, please don't drop us a 5. We don't want to be 5. Like it's another game we're going to have to buy tickets to that I really don't want to buy tickets to because we're going to destroy JMU. That was just a feeling, and I kind of feel like Oregon's probably excited. This is going to be their first home playoff game. They had all the problems last year where they got the bye and then so much time off kind of like made them look terrible. I will say the next game I didn't watch a second of. Kennesaw State.
I watched this whole game.
Okay.
It was unwatchable in the first half.
Oh, okay.
It was 10-0 and 10-0 and I'm trying to get this exactly correct. It was 4th and 2 at the goal line. And they run, and he ends up technically fumbling, but really it was just turnover on downs. He's short, so they're on the 1-yard line, opposite way, Jacksonville State. So it's 10-0, and they got 99 yards to go. This is in the fourth quarter, 12 minutes left. First play, boom, right up the middle, they take a safety. It's like, oh, damn. Now, they free kick it down 12-0, and the kid goes to catch it, and it goes through his leg, off his knee, flies comically far forward, and they get the ball. So basically, it was like an onside kick, free kick, and essentially it was down the field. They got it. They walk right down the field. They score. And it's like, okay, cool. 3 and out. They get the ball back, walk all the way down the field. They score a touchdown and take a lead with 4 minutes left. And you're like, what just happened? It was just 12-0. The game was over. Not even that. There was an image where it's like 3rd and goal on the 3-yard line, up 10-0, and it's like, and then there's another image where it's like 5 minutes later they're down. Then what does Kennesaw State do? They go crazy. They come down the field. They have multiple 4th down conversions, and the craziest one was it was 4th and 14 with 55 seconds left, and they were letting the clock run too. It was crazy. There's a lot of really bad clock management this weekend. Like I thought Ohio State, not to go back with it, their second to last drive, where they basically let the clock all the way down, was crazy.
Yes.
A few teams did. I said it was the exact same thing that Alabama did against Oklahoma, where it's like they're deciding its last possession, whatever. But we'll keep going. And this quarterback runs. He gets the first down barely, and then gets smoked out of bounds. The next play is a touchdown pass. They go crazy. Turnover on downs, a 4 and out, take a knee. Place goes nuts. Third time that a coach has come into the American and won it in the first year. It was Jamie Chadwell, Lane Kiffin, and I forgot the guy's name. I'm sorry. I think he's getting rumored to be the Tulane head coach. Rightfully so. This guy rules. I mean, Kennesaw State 10-3. They were not even a D1 program early in the year. For a minute, we were talking about it. We're like, could this team be in the what's it called? Could this team be in the College 12 playoff? Listen, I know they have some bad losses. They played Indiana and got murdered, but it's like 10-3. If James Madison dies, you're going to put over Duke. Who knows? But good for them. They had a fun little time. The last game of the night, this game stunk. It was a blowout pretty much the entire time. I know there was a shit ton of points. It stunk. Yeah. I don't even want to take too much time on it.
No, it's fine.
Boise wins, whatever.
I watched it. Boise dominated. UNLV looked terrible.
It was the most boring game with 57 points you'll ever see in your entire life. 59 points.
Yeah,
whatever.
Pretty much. And we can skip ahead to Saturday.
Yeah, the Maction game. I watched the first few possessions. There was like a 90-yard touchdown, and then a fumble 6 touchdown, but then they got it pulled back, and then the other team scored, and that was pretty much it. I was mostly focused on the Big 12 game. If you have anything on action, by all means.
No, I was focused on the Big 12 game and what I thought.
Certain plays Kennesaw in a bowl game, that kind of rules. Well, I think we'll do bowls maybe next week, but
we can do
rules.
bowls next week. Yeah.
That rules that they have two of the better conference championships in a bowl game. That's pretty cool.
I will agree with that, and I'm glad they're doing that because they need to start having those matchups to make interesting bowl games. And
they did do it last year, and it was one of the best bowl games of the season. Was Ohio Jacksonville State? That was
correct.
An unreal.
It was a great game. Was that in the Bahamas? I think.
Yeah, Bahama Bowl. It was
okay.
Earlier
Yes.
in bowl season.
Yes. Look, we can talk what we want. Once again, Texas Tech just dominates BYU. And it seemed like BYU
looked so good. We'll always have that first drive.
I know. But you know what it reminded me of? Last year's national title game where they threw everything in the kitchen sink at them on the opening drive. And then
Bear died. Everybody died.
Yes.
Dude had 5 turnovers on the last 6 drives.
Yep.
I was taking shots at him. I know he was hurt, but I was like, you guys, this is another one of these freshman quarterbacks you guys said is so good and so much better than my guy. They all look the same, dude. It's freshman quarterbacks. It's still tough, especially with these 25-year-olds in college football, especially at Texas got a bunch of them.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Man, and the worst part is you guys know I sat on this podcast the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm like, Texas Tech, I think, is the second best team in the nation, probably third now. But it's like, this team's legit. And what did I do? I took fucking BYU again. I thought they had the juice. They had the crumble cookie juice. They had the Sataki boost. It didn't matter. They got abused. And if Texas Tech called the dogs off, they could have blown this team out. I think we got like a text from the commissioner. It was like, hey, yo, like, let's try to keep it semi-competitive so we can get them both in. Not a chance.
Yeah.
That being said, I have a little quick take on BYU, but we'll do that when we talk about the playoff really quick.
I mean, fourth quarter for BYU, which is an absolute nightmare. Fumble, interception, turnover on downs, fumble. I mean, it was just an absolute nightmare in the fourth quarter.
I think they threw a pick the 2 drives before that.
Yeah. Did they? Yes, they did. No, they had a missed field goal. That's right. Coming out of the half, you thought, okay, well, maybe they can make this a game. And then they missed the field goal.
And then they got a turnover on downs that Texas Tech was on like the goal line.
Yep.
And then the next play was a pick. And it's like, oh, sweet. You get right back to him. And then I think the next play was a touchdown. It's like, God.
It was, yeah. Other than that, we saw an SEC title game that was just absolutely Georgia just taking everything out on Alabama. And it started from the beginning.
It was awesome in the first quarter, I thought.
It was. I mean, you had the block punt right away. And by the way, Fowler.
Bama was playing so well up to that point. I was like, Bama's flying. This Georgia offense stinks. Every pass was behind the line of scrimmage. Bama looked like old Bama where they were just hunting to the ball. And then they blocked the kick, and it was over. You knew it was over. It was like, damn it, that was it.
Yep. As soon as that punt only went 8 yards after it was blocked. Now, I will say this. The Georgia player who grabbed the ball out of the air, I don't know what he was thinking. Because if he fumbles that, Bama recovers it, I thought that was a bad play on their part.
Yeah. Overall, it was a very boring SEC championship game. Not sneaky, I mean, pretty obviously, but I mean, it is what it is at this point.
I mean, you pretty much had a total domination, and you knew it was over after Bama went 3 and out, and then Georgia goes down and scores 40 yards in 6 plays, and it's like, okay. Yeah,
you got a third and kind of longish goal, and you're like, okay, you can get a little spark here. Nope. Guys guarding there. Ugh. Georgia, I know they play Ohio. They got a pretty good price to win it all. I mean, I think they're like 6 or 7-1 still.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, they're third best odds. I kind of feel like Vegas just doesn't trust Georgia with their quarterback play. And that's
what's the bowl game you guys would play in?
We would play in the Fiesta Bowl, not the Peach Bowl. They did not. The committee did not.
Because between peach and sugar, it's they could always steal a home game. I know they play in the peach. I think first round. So
no. They're in the sugar of the first round. and they're playing Ole Miss, well, most likely Ole Miss, or you're playing Tulane at their home stadium, which, and you're not going to tell me that LSU fans wouldn't go show up in green for that game.
Yeah, for sure.
I will say this: Georgia still does not overly impress me. Their defense is coming along. They
can't really run the ball.
I'm not really impressed what Georgia does overall, to be honest with you.
I think the whole SEC is down, man. I really do. I think the X factor would have been Lane and his boys, but obviously that's completely neutered. So,
yeah. And I mean, let's see here. So if we do beat whoever we play, Miami or A&M, we're going to play Georgia most likely in the Fiesta Bowl. I kind of like us again.
Yeah. I do want to say shout out the ACC. That game ruled. I know you didn't watch it.
I did not, but I did get the last drive.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Duke played with nothing to lose all night. They faked a punt on like their own 10-yard line. This game felt like Duke was literally like, we're going to win this game because fuck you guys. And Manny Diaz is very much that guy. They played with, again, nothing to lose. But credit to Virginia, they just kept going. I definitely didn't have the over in this game. There was some of the best tackles I've ever seen to save touchdowns, but it was a little bit of points in the beginning, then it kind of petered out. And then Duke, I think Duke picked the ball off. It was like fourth and goal, or fourth from like their own goal. Virginia, on their own 10-yard line, they threw like some bullshit pass. They got picked off. It was like, okay, this game's over. They go kick the field goal, and then it was like, okay. I think they were down 10, and they came all the way back. Then they went to overtime. Very interesting thing for overtime, a rule I didn't even know. So they go for fourth and goal. It was a rollout play. They throw it, and the tight end's wide open, and Mensa gets smoked. They call personal foul, roughing the passer. They opted to put it on the try, the kickoff. Yep. So it would end up being first and down on the 40-yard line. Yeah. I was like, whoa. Virginia runs a trick play, picked off, game over. I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't know you could do that either.
Crazy.
Yes. Crazy that it worked out like that. And it's
it was, that was a killer. That was when you're like, damn, they're really going to do this. And the funniest part was they kept showing it. There was 2 kids in the crowd that were in full Dukes gear, Dukes as in James Madison. And they were obliterated. And every time it was a good play, they would just show them, and they're like, ah.
Now, the one thing I will say about this is, even though they got the ball at the 40, it was still first and 10. And it seemed like Virginia panicked.
Yeah, they ran a trick play, and it was.
And it's like, why did you panic?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Running trick plays where you take the ball out of your quarterback's hands or he's on the bench never work.
Yes, correct. And I don't understand why. I don't know. It made no sense to me, but it worked out to where Duke ended up winning and eliminated technically the ACC from.
The post-game interview was so funny. It felt so forced. They didn't care. Duke didn't even do a watch party. Good for them.
Yes.
I would be such an asshole. Like if Miami goes one and done, I would be the biggest asshole if I was a Duke fan. Unfortunately, they only have a fan base in basketball, and a lot of their people that would be rooting for their football team root for like Ohio State or something like that. Or
Alabama.
Yeah, exactly. So unfortunately, they don't have a fan base. But if they did, it'd be sweet. We'll see. I think those teams are really good.
We can kind of roll into it. So we have the 12 teams that are in.
I think they got it right.
I absolutely think they got it right. Miami won the head-to-head matchup, and you had the same record.
Now, Portnoy had a pretty good take, and I know you don't like him as much as me. He said it's very simple to him. It's BYU and Alabama, or it's Notre Dame and Miami. I kind of get it because he's like, look, either conference games matter or they don't. So you're either going to drop them both, or it's just 2 teams and get rid of the head-to-head. Who gives a shit? Put them both in. I think if it wasn't Alabama and if it wasn't the SEC, if that was Florida State, Clemson. They're probably
Gone.
out.
Gone.
I mean, -3 rush yards is crazy. And I was
Yeah.
a person that kept saying the whole time, no matter what happens, there's a 0% chance that Bama's out. And even then, I was like, I know in Vegas it got down to like -200 Alabama. It was -3,000 Notre Dame to get in. And it's like, okay. But I cannot believe the committee did it. It couldn't have happened to a worse fan base. Obviously, we both don't like Notre Dame. Me as an actual rival, you as a quasi rival. With how you've played them 3 times in the last 4 seasons.
Yeah.
You had that home and home, and then the Natty, obviously. God, there was one clip of one of the kids on Twitter that his name's Ryan Fravel. He has a show, and his buddy just screamed. I put it in one of the group chats where we've got like 200 people in it, and I think it got like 17 or 18 like laughing reactions, which is like crazy for that group chat because not everyone's active. But I was just because someone's like, "Where's that kid?" I'm like, "That's a good point." I watch it and I screen record it. I'm like, "Oh my god!" And I threw it in there because he had a couple live viewers, and I was like, "Holy shit!" But the jokes have been hysterical. There was one chick that was like, because they ended up opting out of the bowl game. She made like an abortion joke about it. She's like, "Oh, now Notre Dame's pro-choice.
Now we're pro-choice."
But I think they got it right, and I absolutely respect the move to tell ESPN to fuck themselves and not play the bowl game. I know it's dumb, very funny, and then someone made another joke about it. They're like, they wanted some walk-ons to play in the game, so all the players put their jerseys on the table, and Marcus Freeman thought that meant they're not playing the ball game.
Now,
but overall, I think it was right, and I like the move.
I have 2 sides of this. So, I agree Notre Dame should not have been in over Miami. I could agree with Portnoy, though, because you said that the SEC championship game doesn't really matter if the team who loses should not be penalized. But you took an 11-1 BYU team and said, "Oh, by the way, you're removed because you're in the Big 12." And
so their cop out was they were at 11,
which is fine. But
until you realize Miami was at 12 and jumped from 12 to 10.
Yes, and Alabama didn't move from their 9 spot. Am I correct?
You are correct.
Okay, yeah, I thought so. I guess my biggest takeaway from it was they kind of led Notre Dame on almost.
Which makes it so much funnier.
So much better because
they kept going up for no reason the whole time. And it's like, okay.
It was almost like, well, who are they playing? Because they just beat Pitt. Oh, cool. You beat Pitt on game day. You beat a team who literally said going into the game, we just don't care about this game.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that. Then you have
killed Syracuse. To be fair.
Yeah. You killed Stanford, which they're terrible too. It's almost like you were the rich spoiled kid though, who went home and cried because everything didn't go your way. And you're just like, well, we're just going to stay at home instead of go to the party now.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt about Notre Dame and them declining the bowl game. Now, if someone, and I'm sure you played sports before, if this is your last game and you're not going to go play at the next level, and you know you're not going to be able to go play at the next level, are you not a little bit upset with other players who said, I'm not going to go play?
Yeah, I'd be pissed. It's weird though, because it's like, okay, we're going to go play the young kids. What, so they can get better and go in the portal and leave? Like, that's what's the problem. It's such a bad juxtaposition.
I do agree with that, but I also do think that you're missing out on quality practice time for the following season. You have a freshman
I'm sure they'll still be practicing. I think you can probably still bowl practice, I would guess.
Yeah, I think
the crazy one is the 5 and 7 teams all declining. I think is way worse.
What? Yes, and I'm glad you brought this up because I told you I wanted to talk about
Rutgers. Who are you?
What? Why are you declining a bowl invite at 5-7? You're re-granted and re-gifted a brand new season. You're trying to build off what you're already at. You have seniors, and these 5-7 teams have a lot more seniors playing that are not going to go play at the NFL level.
Did I just realize it makes it way worse? Isn't it true that Rutgers makes the same amount of money that Ohio State does for every playoff win that Ohio State has,
Correct.
right?
Just like
So if
you
those
guys
assholes would win the Shake That Ass Bowl, we'd make some money. So if anything, they're screwing the rest of the Big Ten over, and they're freeloading like the little pieces of shit they are.
So
I just put that together now. What the hell?
Declined. Here's a list of
money to the table one time, brokies.
Here's a list of teams who have declined. Florida State cannot understand why they declined. Auburn, I get why you declined. You don't have a head coach. You have an interim coach. I get that. UCF, why are you declining? You're 5-7. You have finally a chance to go to a bowl game. Why are you
pretty sure these coaches get bowl game incentives too. I don't know.
Baylor, you're declining. Why? Rutgers, you're declining. Why? Temple, you declined. Why? Kansas, you declined. Why? Like, who is
don't think Jaylon Daniels wants to go out there one more time? I know Kansas State and Iowa State declined. Makes a bit more sense. The whole team's in the portal and they have no coach.
Correct. Yes.
Iowa State. I think Kansas State does already.
No, Kansas State actually, their coach retired, so they got the Texas.
They know who their guy is. Yeah.
Yes.
It's.
But right now, I don't think we have anyone who's playing. Oh, here we go. It actually did happen. Appalachian State looks like they're going to be taking the last bowl bid to go play Georgia Southern.
Hell yeah. By the way, I'm nuking Georgia Southern.
Oh, by the way, in conference game, right?
Oh my God, that's even better. Yeah, Sunbelt.
In conference game. They just made a ton of more money for the Sunbelt.
Good for them.
Once again, you know what, Rutgers? Guess what? You don't get a share of our money. I just cannot get over the fact that
they should have made like a D2 team play. That'd have been sick.
Yeah. I will just say this. We need to take a lot of these bowl games. And look, I know you have money. I know you have sponsors. I know you have this and that. To me, the next step is definitely, I don't even think we're going to expand the Power 4 playoffs. I think we're getting a group of 5 playoff here soon. I think it's very much on the table. I think you're going to have the group of 5 playoff be all bowl games and all bowl game sponsors and stuff like that. And guess what? I'm going to sit down and watch every single group of 5 playoff game because I'm a sports fan.
I think I know the solution. And it's been out there before. It's not my idea. You move the bowl games in place of the spring games, and you get quasi-competitive games because they're already opt-out filled. And next year's guys can play in them. I know it would suck for the seniors, but they're all opting out anyway. Like, you're telling me, like, obviously Georgia Southern App State probably wouldn't be the best, but I'm trying to think like one of these other off games, like Michigan, Texas, as a spring game.
Yep.
Like, come on. You don't think that sells? Obviously, I know Michigan, Texas kind of sells regardless. You know, they are calling it the overpriced quarterback bowl. Stop that. But come on.
Yes. I do have another suggestion for the playoff. So I thought it was when you were seated, you were allowed to pick your bowl game that you were allowed to go to. And if you were the top, and if you were the top seed, well, I'm just saying the way you were seated in the playoffs, I thought you were able to pick your bowl game. I read an article today that said that is not true, that the committee put us in the Cotton Bowl because they don't want to have a risky move and us playing Miami in Miami at their home field.
Because it was supposed to be you guys were in the Orange Bowl, which would have been hilarious, especially historically too. But
we have never won we are terrible in the Orange Bowl.
God, the world needs Ohio State, Miami in the second round, please.
But here's what I will say. You did that and you gave us Texas A&M in the state of Texas. I think we're at the point where we might need to do away with bowl games being the spot for the playoff games. I'm not even suggesting that the teams who get a bye get a home playoff game. I think we need to go to more of like a March Madness style thing where, yes, it can end up in the Cotton Bowl, but yes, it can be in Indianapolis. Yes, it can be in Detroit. Yes, it can be in Cleveland when we get our dome. Yes, it can be in Minnesota.
I agree with that for conference championship games, 100%. But I kind of like the idea of these bowl games. I do. I don't know.
The only pushback I have is it's such a favor. It's so much favors Georgia, who's going to be able to play. And luckily,
there's no northern bowl games. Like, you're telling me that they couldn't do, I don't even know which one it would be, but like, you couldn't do one of these bowl games up north.
I mean, Indianapolis is a perfect city. They've hosted,
or like Minnesota's dome. They've had multiple Super Bowls.
Oh, and by the way, guess who else is building a dome too? Chicago's building a dome. So you're not telling me
I wouldn't say Ford Field's a little too small.
I mean, it holds 66,000, right?
But you don't think like if like a Michigan or a Penn State got in, they wouldn't want to play at like MetLife outside? Oh my God.
I mean, yes, obviously we would.
They should make it that like.
But
you guys are right. You can like pick your location.
Oh, okay. See, if it was that, I would love that. If we could pick our location. But what I'm even saying is
Oregon plays at Lumen in Seattle.
Yes, but what I'm saying is just have it already figured out and go like the NCAA tournament where you have a South region, a Midwest region, an East region. By the way, guess what? There's this thing called the Carrier Dome in Syracuse that can host a lot of people. They could be an East region. Like, you have domes accountable in the North. You have all these stadiums in the South that they could go play at still. You have the West Coast where, this is my opinion, the Rose Bowl should be the national title every year. Should be the national title every year. It is such a
alternate that in Miami Gardens, I get it. Maybe even Acrisure. Not Acrisure. What's the one that's Allegiant? There it is.
Allegiant, yeah.
SoFi, but whatever. I get it. Like the fact that SoFi doesn't even have, like, I guess only the Natty can be at those certain stadiums, which is like, okay.
It's just that's how
even the Natty. Think about it. What's the Natty cycle? It's like LA, Vegas, Atlanta, Miami. Like,
yeah, and I mean, occasionally
Miami does have half of Miami people that live in Miami are Ohio State or Michigan fans, but still.
And then occasionally we're getting Indianapolis. Occasionally we're getting Dallas. But I mean, you're occasionally maybe getting Glendale. And look, here's the thing: you have the South that can include Dallas, you can include New Orleans, you can include Atlanta. I'm just saying, let's divvy it up a little bit, because right now you have Indiana who's going to the West Coast, which it's an honor for them to go to the Rose Bowl. They're all
Indiana. The Rose Bowl is just hysterical.
We even said it walking into the Big Ten championship game. Like, it's just weird to see IU on anything but basketball. Like, in a Big Ten championship setting, like, I'm more comfortable with, like, I would have been more comfortable seeing, like, the Big O Oregon at a Big Ten title game than Indiana. Like, it felt weird walking in. And I mean, I will say this, half of their fan base was wearing basketball jerseys.
And I'm sure they had the freaking pants on too.
Yep, they had the candy striper pants on, and it was just like, guys, like, you have a football team now. Now, I will say this: they did have bison hats. A lot of people had the bison hats, which was cool. But I just kind of feel like you're going to get Indiana in a Rose Bowl, and that's great, awesome. But they're even at a disadvantage, especially if Oklahoma wins. Oklahoma is like way closer to Indiana, or way closer to Cali than Indiana. like I said, we could end up playing Texas A&M in Texas, which I think our fans are going to travel to the Cotton Bowl. They did last year.
We were a play away from Michigan, Texas, and Houston.
Yeah, exactly. Like it. Now, granted, I will say that I get the national title rotating like that because it has been in Indianapolis. Now, the unfortunate thing is it was Alabama versus Georgia in Indianapolis, which just
they both loved it, though, I've been told. But yeah.
Oh yeah. I think that, but I would just love to see, like, maybe we need to start rotating these playoff games. That's number one issue for the playoffs that I have, because it's like the committee could have honestly put us in the Sugar Bowl and probably would have been even better location for us.
Yeah.
But I feel like the committee was like, oh, you know what? We got to keep it up with the SEC tie to the Sugar Bowl, which is fine. Yeah. It is what it is. I'm glad that they did not make us play
ACC Orange Bowl.
I'm just glad they did not make us play Georgia if it comes to Ohio State versus Georgia in the Peach Bowl in Atlanta.
Or the Sugar Bowl. I mean, either one is total BS.
No, they couldn't make us do that because the semifinals were already the Fiesta Bowl.
I'm just saying, they have every year they've got a 2 chance of a home game.
Yes. Which is ridiculous.
Someone even joked, they go, listen, I know it sucks and it's whatever, but like Alabama, Georgia in the freaking, obviously I know you had the same problem with Indiana, but like Georgia in the SEC championship game, they played 2 games before this, I believe, in what's it called? They had 3 games a season in Mercedes-Benz.
Yes, in Mercedes-Benz. Yes, they did. The other thing is that I want to address real quick is we got to do away with this early signing process. It's obviously a distraction when your head coach and you're in the playoff hunt is going somewhere else. And I'm not just talking that about my team. Like I said, go watch that North Texas Tulane game. It was a very odd coach game both ways. And it's almost like they were just not all there because they had signing classes that they were dealing with at Florida and Auburn. Mm-hmm. Florida and North Texas or Oklahoma State. Yes. You had that, and it just was kind of like we got to move this early signing period back. Just go with the normal one in February. That was fine.
Because then the problem is you got to do the portal before or after that. That's the issue. But
well, here's the thing. Last thing, portal needs to be like March 1st or somewhere, whatever the spring portal is.
You got to the problem is semesters.
And I know.
I think you got to start the college football season in August.
And stop allowing people to transfer 10 times or however many times they want to transfer. It needs to be one time, and that's it. Like you get one time to leave from X university and go to other university. Unless your position coach or your head coach leaves, you can't leave again. I think it's a one-time transfer. We need to change it because right now you're having guys every year that are just like, hey, by the way, show me all the money and I'll come play for your school. And it's like,
you got to recruit your own guys.
Yeah. So, other than that,
one final thing that I have personally, and I know you'll let you do a spiel. I just think that there is a world out there that Texas Tech could potentially win the national championship and or play for it. And it's like BYU lost to them twice and we took them out. Whatever. That's it. That's all it is. That's the part that I know Keani Satake said that, and it's crazy. Like, think about it like this, and it sucks because it's them. If it was the old SEC, the old Big 12, and that was Oklahoma that blew out.
Oh man!
Somebody else. If Oklahoma blew out BYU twice, I think it's totally different. Which no one's talking about that angle, which sucks, but it is what it is.
I'll even say this. Imagine it was Oklahoma who beat, let's say, the old Big 12. I'm going to go with like Kansas State. They beat them twice, and they beat them thoroughly good both times. Or Utah, someone like that.
Or even if it was the opposite way around, and Oklahoma was
Oh,
one or Texas only got blown out
absolutely.
twice.
What? We're going to go back a little bit into history. There was a Big 12 championship game that I believe it was 2003, maybe somewhere in there. Oklahoma went into it undefeated, and they lost 35-7. Now, this was the BCS era. Oklahoma still ended up going to a national title after losing the Big 12 championship game 35-7 to play LSU, and LSU boat raced them off the field.
Yeah. Funnily enough, the Big 12 title game, the BCS national championship would be Ohio State, Indiana again, which I thought was very funny. I saw that today. So,
yeah, which never forget when the SEC pulled that, and everybody was in uproar.
I mean, think about it right now. Like, what's the easiest number of teams that could be in the playoff right now? I think 4 is a pretty good number. Whatever.
Yeah,
we've so lost the plot. All right. Yeah. Well, obviously it's Army Navy week. Please, Cozy, do your spiel, and we'll get the hell out of here.
Okay. Army has had quite a rough season. It's been very up and down. I'm a little
biased. They miss Bryson
here.
Daly. It's that simple.
What?
They miss Bryson Daly. It's that simple.
Yes, very much so. It's been an up and down season. They've had some very, very bad losses. They lost to Tulsa, that was Tulsa's only conference win.
It was a Tarleton State, right?
They did lose to Tarleton State to start the season, which some people loved. Both these teams actually made a bowl game, which is kind of impressive. Usually, sometimes they don't. Now, Navy gets a bit of a better bowl game, which I believe they're going to the Liberty Bowl.
Navy was undefeated on Halloween.
They were.
Unranked. Shout out Stallions.
Yes. So with that being said, unfortunately, Navy faltered against North Texas and Notre Dame, but they did knock off South Florida. They did knock off Memphis. Everything in this game points to Navy 6.5 should cover, should be an easy win. This game never works out like that lately.
Never.
This game has been like total opposite a few times in the past like 5 or 6 years. Usually for years upon years, Navy was a better team. They were dominating. Monken finally broke through, and then it was Army dominating. And now we've been kind of flip-flopping, and we've had some very good classic games here. I'm going to say back-to-back years, I believe, we went the over. I'm going to say the over and Army covers.
Yeah. I do watch Navy more than Army, just purely because, A, it's fun with Stallions. B, I had multiple midshipmen on my fantasy team. Also, one of my rivals in college, they were Hobart was in their conference sailing. We would be at Annapolis seemingly every other weekend. They got the kid Alex Tezka. Dude's an absolute animal. I think he could potentially be like a kick returner in the NFL if they let him out. I mean, speaking of that, I mean, obviously they had what was it? It wasn't Graham. It wasn't Graham Perry. Who was the kid that the Navy quarterback a couple years ago?
It was oh my gosh. He went to he played for the Ravens.
And the Dolphins.
Reynolds, I think. Was
Malcolm Perry?
That's it. There we go.
Malcolm Perry. I'm looking at it right now. Dude had 2,000 yards rushing in 2019. Similarly, Blake Horvath's really good. Also Eli Heidenreich, another kid from Pittsburgh. Him and Tezka, both from Pittsburgh. They're both a very good duo. I will say, I think my sneaky player of the game, all right, they have this thing that they've been doing. Funny enough, Utah does the same thing. They bring this backup quarterback. The guy just runs. Obviously, it's Navy. No shit, Blake. But this kid's just running like crazy. Braxton Woodson, okay, he's had multiple games where he just spawns, and it's like, what the hell just happened? Obviously, USF was one of them. Even against Notre Dame, he had a 41-yard touchdown run, which I'm sure was Notre Dame's longest play given up this year. But yeah, he had 9 carries for 103 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he's had in games where he's had over 3 carries, he's got 7 for 180 and 2 touchdowns, 23 for 101 and a touchdown. Well, that was when he was the starting quarterback. And then 9 for 103 and 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, Navy, again, as you said, Navy should win easy. Navy scores a ton of points, so it's probably going to be Army in the under. So,
Yeah.
just another one of these games that just stinks that the damn Naval Army Academies in Army Academy doesn't sound right. Is in
The military academy.
you know what I mean? Well, I'm saying it's a Naval Academy.
Yeah.
Whatever. That is in New York. That sucks because I can't take this game. But
you're talking about West Point, yes. The
yeah,
West Point, yes.
But it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, Heidenreich, I think he's the all-time receiver now in Service Academy history. So we had a game where he had like 200 yards receiving. It was crazy.
Yeah, which is wild. I mean, Horvath threw for over 1,000 yards this year, which is amazing for any service academy to do that. Other than when Air Force used to do the
last year,
the spread offense. It's going to be in Baltimore. It's essentially Navy's home game. Yeah, I always get excited for this game just because of the minimal tie there, but. Man, I really hope the Black Knights come to play. And they did steal the Billy Goat. So there was that. Yes. And then I believe in years that they've stolen the Billy Goat and gotten away with it and brought it all the way back to West Point. I believe that Army has a winning record in those years. So maybe some good luck. Other than that, I don't really got much.
Yeah.
But
we'll recover that game. We'll do the playoff prediction. We'll go from there.
We'll talk about
gun in my head. Ohio State, Texas Tech is currently where I'm at right now. But
I am at a actual Big Ten championship rematch is where I'm at. But
so that's all we got for this week. Thank you for watching as always. Maybe the podcast will finally get back on track and one of us will win the Big Ten title again next year. We'll see. So.
Maybe not. Right. Go Bucks, go Army.
Peace.